I was embarrassed. I'm looking at the publicist and they're like that and they don't even seem to notice I'm there. Yeah. That went on, passionate kissing for about 5 to 7 minutes while I sat there.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Drink with Owen. We are joined by the amazing Richard Reid this week. The clip before this probably gave that away, but I'm just so excited to share this with you. It's going to be over 2 parts this week and next week, so you get to see the complete chat, and there's some really cool stuff in there. We talk about Richard's career, what he's got coming up next, and some of his work he does as well with Beyond Blue, so it's just a great chat, so let's get into it.
Hello.
Hello, Richard, are you there?
Yeah, yes I am. Hello.
Richard
Hello.
Reid, here you are. Thank you very much for joining us on Drink with Owen. Pleasure to have you on. How are you?
I gotta say, I am pretty darn good. I'm really delighted to be here. You know what? I'm gonna tell people right now, I don't mean to tell secrets or whatever. You slid into my DMs on the old Instagram, and I was like, well, this sounds like a nice guy. I could feel your vibrations. It was pretty good.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. It's worth a shot. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the good thing about Instagram. You can sort of hopefully get directly to anyone and chat to them.
You know what? I think so. Unless, because it doesn't go into the main one. It doesn't go to, it goes to the one of people you don't know and you might not want to know.
Yeah, and you can actually read them without them knowing you read it as well when they go into that folder.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you don't click accept, they don't know you read it.
Right. Well, can you reply before you accept?
I don't think you can. So you've got to click accept. So you can read it and then they can go, oh, they haven't read it, but you have.
Yeah. I always try to reply to nice things and compliments, and I resist the urge to replying to,
yeah, I can imagine. All right, well, let's get into it. So what have we got for our drink today, Richard?
Oh, okay. This is an old school one for me because it's called a Dusty Black. Yeah. Okay. I used to have to get up at the before dawn for many years. And man, I'll tell you, here's what it is. It is over ice. We're going to take some black drip coffee here. Yeah, put that in. Oh, we'll go about halfway up. Oh, I'm making a mess. Hang on. About halfway up. And then here's the secret ingredient. Full strength Coca-Cola, right?
There's about
equal parts. You fill that up the rest of the way. And the secret is you have crazy caffeine. You have a double dose of caffeine, from the Coca-Cola. And then you have sugar. And then you chug this. We're just going to sip it today.
We'll sip it today.
And you are like stratosphered into a supernova other world of energy.
Yeah, right.
Woo!
Let's give it
Hello!
Let's give it a take.
Hello! Brad, Jen, Angelina, hello, good morning!
Cheers, well, let's have a go.
Wow. No, I know. It tastes like a monkey's ass. I know it does.
That's
but
interesting.
It's interesting. I think that you might prefer yours with a shot of vodka.
Yeah,
but I'll just take that straight out.
So do you have it cold?
Pardon me?
Cold coffee? Do you let the coffee go cold? Or
well, yeah, I do. I usually put some ice cubes in the coffee first, and so yeah. Or an old pro like me would have like a big old canister of coffee in the fridge,
ready to go.
Cold. Yeah, I don't skim corners. I get right down to business.
Might as well go all out. It's actually pretty good, I must say. When you wrote that as your drink, I was a bit like, oh, this will be interesting, but it's actually quite nice.
It is quite nice, and like I said, it's a little pick-me-up when you need a little pick-me-up. I think they invented it for like people who are hungover, feeling a little dusty.
Oh, so.
That'll get you ready for the boardroom right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been kicking around Australian TV for quite a while. I personally still remember you most when you were the Hollywood gossip guy on the Today Show.
Yes.
Is that always what you wanted to do, become an entertainment reporter, or how did you sort of get into that?
Oh gosh, no, I didn't start out wanting to be an entertainment reporter. Way back in the day, I thought I wanted to be an actor on soaps. But, I tried that for about 5-6 years. And, the most lines I ever had was, knock, knock, telegram, sir. Thank you. That's about as far as I got. And that
Are any of them floating around still?
Huh?
Is there any clips of that floating around?
Oh my God, I'd have to dig. I'd have to dig really deep to find those. And don't you do it. Don't start digging now.
So write that down for the...
Please don't. And so then I was really frustrated. I thought, well, I better go back to uni. And so I decided to take a class in broadcast journalism.
Yep.
And so from there, I learned how to write, do camera, to edit, do all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, I'm going to be a reporter. And I finally get my big shot because I was just writing news. One Saturday morning, really early, someone called in sick, and my news director was like, Reid, there's a fire up on the hill. Get up there, and you're going to do a live shot. And I'm like, okay, here's my chance. I'm going to be a serious reporter. So they go, okay, you're live in 3, 2, 1. And I'm like, ooh, it's hot out here. There's flames everywhere. And I was like, my God, yes. I thought I did a pretty good job. So I go back to the newsroom, and my boss over the intercom, Reid, get in here. And I'm expecting to be hired full-time.
Yeah, you're like, here we go. This is it.
Right, exactly, Owen. And so instead he goes, so you were in a fire, right? And I'm like, oh, yes, I was. And he goes, animals were hurt. I'm like, yes, they were. People were hurt. And I'm like, yeah, they were. And he goes, then why were you smiling? Get back out there. You'll never be on TV. I was like, oh, man. And so by then, I figured I better kind of, what they say, pivot a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we had an entertainment reporter, and all of a sudden I got, that's a pretty good idea. So I could apply my news journalism skills and my love of pop culture and entertainment and movies and combine them into one. And voila, here we are.
So what did you like best about being an entertainment reporter? I'm sure you would have gone on a lot of adventures.
Oh my gosh, I got more than I bargained for. Once I became a full-time entertainment reporter, I was able to fly to all these press junkets, really all over the world. I mean, we went to London for Harry Potter. We went to Greece for that Mamma Mia movie. I went to New York a lot, went to Los Angeles, and really, I gotta say, I had a pretty good rapport with a lot of the big celebrities back in the day. I think I sent you some clips, didn't I?
I think reality is reality, and it kind of comes to you.
But just when I thought I knew what the reality of this movie was, I felt dropped. Boom. Okay. Reload. Choo choo. I couldn't even sum up. What genre is this movie? Not a girl. Mm-hmm. Not yet a woman. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about you. What percentage, are you girl, woman? Is it like a 70-30, 20-80? You're with me here on this.
I'm with you, man.
Okay.
I feel you.
When you look at photos of yourself,
Yes.
do you see, there's that Pitt dude, or you're like, there's me?
Oh.
I'm a heavy thinker.
Oh my God.
I know.
Break out the acid.
Miss Congeniality just doesn't do it. And there's Miss Girl Next Door, Miss Perky, Miss Nice Teeth, Miss whatever. Yeah. I've decided to call you Miss Thing.
Oh, you're
Miss
kidding.
Thing. That's for you. Okay, it was $1.49.
But that's
what do you
okay.
want? Oh! Look at you! There she is, oh Miss Thingaca.
Thingaca. That's a good one.
You like that?
Yeah.
Miss Thingaca.
Yeah.
It works for me.
It works for me.
Gosh, you're pretty.
Gosh, you're smart.
What is the one? Two little girls from Little Rock. Come on, help me out.
We're just two
Gentlemen,
little girls
yes, I knew
from
it.
Little
Yeah, you
Rock.
know it.
And they have that song, Is There Anybody Here for Love? And that's Jay, Well, you can't get much gayer than that.
Oh,
Please.
God.
It's like she's saying, will anyone screw me? And it's like a room full of gay guys.
Amazing. So what are some of the stories that didn't make it to air?
Oh God! Well, most of it was crap, but I will say, one time, Angelina Jolie, back in the day when she was just starting to date Billy Bob Thornton. That's ancient history, long before Brad was on the scene. Well, I was interviewing her for a movie, one-on-one, and we're about halfway done when all of a sudden someone comes in the door, and it's Billy Bob. In the middle of my interview, he goes right up to Angelina, and I tell you, they practically were having sex in front of me. They started making out so passionate. She's like, and I was embarrassed. I'm looking at the publicist, and they're like that, and they don't even seem to notice I'm there. Yeah. That went on, passionate kissing for about 5 to 7 minutes while I sat there. Then they were done, touched her up, and we continued the interview. That was pretty good. And another time, Courtney Love, remember her from back in the day, the grunge, she changed her top in front of me and showed her boobs. That was, oh, I wanted to poke my eyes out with knitting needles. So a lot of stuff didn't make the air, but it was good stories.
So Richard, you would have been doing all that over in America, I guess. How did you end up on the Today Show?
Oh, God, you are asking the long-winded questions. Okay, so I was working at Entertainment Tonight. By then, I was a producer, producing segments, all that.
Very fondly.
And I was at a press junket, and I met a young girl who was about to move to Australia because she'd met a guy, the usual, and she had lined up working a job at the Today Show. And I was like, oh, good luck. See you the 12th and never. And so she went off. I was off busy doing my thing. And all of a sudden, one day out of the blue, she calls me up and says, Richard, this is Jenny from the Today Show in Australia. And I'm like, well, Jenny, how you doing? And she's like, well, listen, the person who does our weekend gossip crosses, he really won't be able to do it this weekend. And so wondering if you could just kind of jump in and talk about what's going on in Hollywood. And I said, well, sure, I could do that in my sleep, no problem. She's like, great. And I said, well, what was the deal? Why can't your guy do it? And she says, well, Danny Bonaduce from the Partridge Family, the redheaded kid? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, I know him. She goes, well, he was doing our gossip for us, and over the weekend, he beat up a tranny hooker, and he's in jail. So we won't be using him. And I'm like, no problem. I'm in Hollywood. Sounds like a Hollywood answer.
Oh, yeah, that's normal. That's another weekend.
I know. And so Danny never made it back. And I struck up a rapport with Richard Wilkins immediately, and voila, I was on the Today Show, and it went for 8 years.
Yeah, right.
8 years. And it was just happenstance, It was really amazing.
Yeah, do you find in this industry that you're in, a lot of it is timing and just not so much just being in the right place, but I guess a bit of that? Is that sort of how it works?
100%. I think it's luck, if there is such a thing as luck, and timing. And it's not necessarily who you know, but I think it's just the people you meet along the way. And I'm just one of those people, I'll talk to anyone. You get in an elevator and I'll be like, hey, nice day. What's going on with you? And you'll be like, back off, mate. I don't know you. Yeah. But I think because I have that kind of personality that strikes up kind of an instant, fast friendship with people. It's those people you meet along the way. It's not really, I never had a game plan. I wasn't climbing the ladder to success. I was just like, had a say yes attitude. Oh, sure. Yeah, why not?
So a lot of us know, as we said, from the Today Show. What other shows have you been on? Because you have been on a few. What have you got for us?
Oh, gosh, I have been on a few. Well, while I was doing Today, I got a call to do a show called Domestic Blitz. I'm very proud of it. People don't really remember it so much, but it was kind of between Backyard Blitz and The Block. It was sandwiched in there for 2 years, ran for 4 series. Myself, Scott Cam, Shelley Kraft. And that was a wonderful show. And it was really good. It was really good. And then I did a bunch of those 20 to 1s, since I have a way of talking about celebrities in a way that you're not quite sure if that was a compliment or a slam. And then, of course, I got Celebrity Apprentice. Oh, my God.
I think we've got a clip that we're going to play now of you on the Celebrity Apprentice, so we'll chuck that on.
He's every celebrity's worst nightmare.
I've got the scoop on everyone.
He's Hollywood's gossip guru.
You're fired. What? Wait, what?
Oh, well, gosh, I'm telling you, I drank a lot of these on that. I'm telling you, man, it was boom, 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 boom. And it was, I know, guzzle it, baby. It was, it was a reality show, but I gotta say, it was really pitting celebrities against celebrities and forming alliances and people backstabbing you. And I gotta say, one of the best times I had, but the weirdest times, Gina Liano from the Housewives of Melbourne. Oh my God. I love trading barbs with her. She was the best.
What are you trying? You know what? You just keep talk. I don't understand one thing you're trying to say, Gina.
Why not?
I just don't understand what point you're trying to make.
Well, if I can speak, I'm happy.
Oh, well, believe me, you've been speaking.
What happened to you? Did you take a bitch pill?
What happened there? What was that about?
Oh, you know, Gina being Gina, she likes to talk. And by then I'd had, probably 12 weeks of no sleep, lots of coffee, people backstabbing me. And Gina was one of the first to go. She got sick. And so she just kind of breezed in, I'm Gina, I'm fabulous. And I'm just like, Gina, what are you doing here? I want the show over. I'd already been fired at that point, and I just wanted Sophie to win so I could, head back to America.
That's the end of part 1 of our chat with Richard Reid. Make sure you come back next week to see part 2. Here's a little sneak peek. Absolutely. I'm a bit worried now that all the other stories aren't really going to match partying with the Packers in Crown, but